Namaste. I'm Alakanandama, Ayurvedic doctor and principal of Alandi Ayurveda Gurukula, a unique apprenticeship-style Ayurveda program in Boulder, Colorado. So, welcome to part 2 of staying healthy in time of war. Just a reminder, next month I have my virtual live course on Ayurveda and trauma. So if you're in that course, you'll be able to ask more questions on the topic of staying healthy in time of war, because war is certainly a global trauma. In the meantime, uh, we're in this 5-part series, and it should be very helpful for us to stay healthy in time of war. So last week, we talked about taking a stand, not a side. We did contemplative meditation on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and took a stand on the Declaration. So now let's talk about standing up. Stand up and take care of yourself. So now we've taken a stand, we do need to stand up. As some of you have pointed out to me in the comments, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights looks good on paper, but so many people around the world do not experience or enjoy those rights. The nations of the world are not necessarily collaborating in terms of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It's us, the peoples of the world, who have to stand up for the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and make no mistake. If someone else far away in a country we've never visited is not experiencing these rights, then in due course of time, we won't experience them either. So we've taken a stand. We need to stand up. We need to stand up for human rights. We need to stand up within our capacity in big ways and small, on the streets and online. While standing up is in itself good for our health because it preserves our integrity, dignity, and adherence to truth. Standing up is good for the heart. Being in our truth, in our dignity, or in our integrity, those are the virtues that feed the heart. But while standing up, we also need to take care of ourselves on a day-to-day basis. Yes, it's difficult to eat nutritious food when others are starving. It's difficult to sleep comfortably when others shiver or swelter under canvas or plastic or nothing much in displacement camps. It's difficult to rest when others are under 24/7 bombardment. But think about it. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights envisions a decent, dignified, and uplifted life for all. It doesn't point to us living in misery. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights is not suggesting that anyone, anywhere, should be living in miserable, crowded, unsanitary conditions where the children can't go to school, people can't find work, and there's no proper food. In order to honor the Declaration, it becomes our duty to lead a decent and uplifted life, even while we make sacrifices for the sake of standing up. It's something I've thought about a lot. I call it the Auschwitz principle. The thought that I have nothing to complain about because I'm not living in mud and filth in a death camp. No, I have plenty to complain about. if I'm not able to lead a decent, dignified, and uplifted life. That is the standard. We don't want to set abject misery as the standard, and we want to have the standard of a decent and uplifted life. And we need to give that to ourselves even while we fight for others to have that as well. So that means while standing up for human rights, make sure you eat proper, nutritious food. Make sure you get your sleep and that you take some rest and relaxation and allow yourself to enjoy your life. In order to be truly useful to others, we need to take care of those basics for ourselves. The next thing to think about is our consumption of the news. Consume news judiciously. First of all, think about our sources. We need to consume news from proper sources. I have one niece and one nephew who went to journalism school. They didn't go to school for all those years to learn nothing. So we should consume proper news that is actually balanced and presented to us in a professional way. Pick some good sources. I usually like to have two different sources because if they disagree with each other, I'll be able to feel out a bias on that subject on one of the sources. So choose good sources. Try to stay away from disinformation, things that can stress you far more than you should be stressed because disinformation feeds on our fear. But also consume news at a proper time and in a limited amount. It's important to stay informed. We can't stand up for human rights unless we stay informed and know where there are issues with human rights, where things are getting worse, where there are possible steps to make things get better. So we do need to stay very well informed, but we don't want to be exhausting ourselves, scrolling news on our phone as we're falling asleep, stressing out. It's good to take an hour in the day to settle in, pay attention to a good news source, take notes or go over it with your loved one afterwards. Make sure you got it. But don't be stressing yourself out, consuming disturbing, horrific news any hour of the day. Just one good meal of news, maybe two good meals if you're like me and you want two news sources. I do listen to the BBC World Service whilst doing the dishes and closing the kitchen at night. When it starts to get late, though, I switch over to classical music and relax. So that's the next one. The third thing is don't go it alone. Going it alone for human rights is just exhausting. Reach out to local groups who care about human rights. For instance, here in Boulder, we have the Peace and Justice Center. That can be a good place to connect with people who also care about human rights. Form coalitions. When you're working on a specific issue, try to form coalitions so you can stay safe and not go it alone. Also, reach out across borders and oceans. We have learned this in our work on behalf of human rights in Syria because so few people cared about Syria when we started in 2012 or 2013, and so few people care about Syria now. So we had to look for support. We have our friend Farid in Idlib, who's our actual source on the ground. We have our dear friend, Dr. Nada Hashemi, who used to be here in Colorado. Now he's at Georgetown University, but we're still very good friends and support each other in our pursuit of human rights. I have my friend Mari in Italy and a whole bunch of friends in Dublin in Irish Syria Solidarity. It's been wonderful to make those connections. For more than 10 years, we've upheld each other's morale and we've supported each other in practical, emotional, and financial ways. We've amplified each other's content. We've done everything that we can to support each other as we pursue human rights. So there are some important things. The first one, yes, having taken the stand, we need to stand up, but take care of ourselves day to day, eat, sleep, rest, have fun, so that you can be truly useful to others and set a model of an uplifted life. Consume news judiciously and don't go it alone. Reach out locally, reach out nationally, reach out internationally, and get support. And finally, we can support ourselves with our aspirations of loving kindness. So, for a little meditation for this time, just relax, sit straight, hands resting on your knees or in your lap comfortably. Allow your eyes to close. Get in touch with the natural breath and wish yourself well. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I have ease of well-being. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I have ease of well-being. Deeply wishing yourself well. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I have ease of well-being. Allowing that warmth of loving kindness to move through your body. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I have ease of well-being. When you feel ready, allow yourself to come out from the brief meditation practice. Return to the waking state, remembering to continue to wish yourself well. That's it for this week. Next week, we will look at the topic of how to love our enemies. Don't forget to click the like button if this has been helpful to you and let your friends know about this series. Namaste.